line up like.
You're gonna line up pretty well with what everyone else agrees with.
For the most part,
But is that because of society, or is that because like we're born with some? Like I feel like I have some innate morality besides like societal consequences. Like ooh.
It's so one thing that's like kind of frustrating is when you start digging more into like whether you're talking like evolutionary psychology or evolutionary biology or any of these things, or psychology or any of these things in general, is when you grow up, a lot of things you learn is like nature versus nurture, right? Like nature is like your environment, or I'm sorry, nature is like your genetic predisposition and nurture is like your environment. But I think as you study these things in more depth, you realize that these things are constantly intertwined with each other. It's basically impossible to separate the two in a lot of circumstances. So when somebody says like, well, do we have a strong like biological inclination towards something, or is it just society? That's a weird question because society literally comes from our biology, right? Like the human biology produces the society we live in. So is it true that a lot of your morals can be like socially driven? Yeah, but a lot of those socially driven morals come from biologically created people. So there's like a complicated interplay there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that was a lot. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, like I think we do have like an internal sense intuitively, like seeing things like cry and scream when they're being tortured feels really bad and wrong.
Yeah.
And socially, that's going to be reflected. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, that does make sense. I guess, do you still find it frustrating, or did you at the time that nobody could seem to explain their viewpoint?
The only thing I found it frustrating is when people couldn't explain their viewpoint and then they condemned me for even exploring the questions, or when they couldn't explain their viewpoint but were like very haughty and smug, telling other people they were stupid for believing different things, basically. It was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, they call themselves the skeptic community. Like, how can you be the skeptic community? You're not even willing to debate incest. Come on.
Skeptical on fucking kids.
There was early internet edgy atheists that ran out of things.
That seems to be kind of where I think the idea of that stuff is kind of where like the debate pervert thing came from. I mean, obviously Hassan popularized it, but debate bro, debate pervert, like the idea of some fucking guy on YouTube just exploring inane questions that aren't productive to anyone.
Kind of, where the issue was a lot of it was masking like what they wanted. Like, to be fair, like if a guy comes up and he's like, well, actually, I think the age of consent should be 13. It's probably because a 13-year-old really wants to fuck. Like, more often than not on the internet, like the people that are debating age of consent were like hardcore, like anti-age of consent people that ended up like wanting to look at child or fuck kids or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay.
I don't know. You think your content is additive to the world? Do you think you're like doing a good thing or
add something to
doing a service?
I hope so. Yeah. I think the ideas that I think are like better than the ideas that I argue against, so more people believe it. I hope it's good.
Is that like helping the world, like pushing against the tide when there's so much? I mean, there's so much shit out there.
I hope so. I mean, I'm getting bigger. Dan, I'm trying. Okay, jeez.
It's just so insurmountable, doesn't it?
It's not insurmountable. It's mountable. It's just there's a lot to mount. Okay.
Doesn't it feel like a crushing weight?
No. It did before, but now that I'm getting bigger every day.
When did it feel? When did it feel like a crushing weight?
No, I mean like it always kind of does, but like I think it's good to like keep an eye out for the changes that you make. Like I've got a community of people. I'm happy when I see them believe things that I think are important. I'm happy when I care for those arguments to other people. I'm happy when I see other people quoting my arguments or things that I've made. Like all of those things feel good. And hopefully as I get bigger and argue against bigger people, you know, other people like, oh, you know, maybe this thing is true or whatever.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
It seems like you know, are self-actuating and are happy with the progress you've made. So
I try to be, yeah.
Okay, well, I think the really last thing that we need to talk about. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
We're still having sex after. Okay. The real thing I want to talk about.
The real thing.
The real thing. I feel this hotel couch is your relationships.
Yeah. With your mom. All of them?
There's just one.
Oh. She has DID, so you know, I date all 7 of her personalities. Yeah.
Okay, that's cute. Do you like the sunflower one? Or do you like the M&M one better?
The issue is she switches between these two like pretty frequently sometimes, and it's really weird because the M&M one really likes anal, but the sunflower one hates it. So it sucks when I'm like balls deep in the M&M one's ass, and then she switches alters, and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?" And you got there's like the spot on the back of her head that if I tap it really hard, she'll switch back to the M&M one. But obviously after a while, it was like really fucked up. It's like beating the shit out of her to get her to like take my dick in her ass. So
yeah, that's usually the way I have to do it anyway.
Really?
Without DID.
Oh shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just from hitting her too much.
No,
maybe she
with my
doesn't
mom.
actually have. Oh.
With yours.
Oh my.
Big girl.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. Anyway, she doesn't have
anyway.
DID. She did forget though.
She had
Anyway.
a good one, yeah.
Okay.
Your mom never forgets.
Okay.
Especially if
You have like maladaptive.
That's a word.
Tendencies
Yeah,
in your
judge
relationship.
me harder. Yeah.
You do.
Okay.
You do.
Okay.
You hang out with crazy people all the time.
Yeah,
She's
they're
nodding.
entertaining
She
and funny
knows.
as.
But it like can like fuck you.
No, it hasn't.
What do you mean it
I've
hasn't?
come out of all these situations stronger, faster, better.
I mean, yes, you come out.
I
but
do.
Wouldn't you rather just avoid that entirely?
No.
Why not?
People say these things. Here's the thing.
Like, I would rather.
Here's my responsibility as a content creator. What I have to do is, not only do I have to understand what's good content, I have to figure out what you want, and you don't know what you want, okay? You don't know what you want. People like this will say, like, oh yeah, that's not healthy. They only know me because
I know what I want.
They only know me because they watched those arcs. They're like, this is really bad for you. By the way, I watched every single Mr. Girl video. Or this is the worst stuff ever. And I want to talk to you about the 482 hours of Anna content that I've seen in her stream. And I can't believe you hang out with these girls. Let me give you my opinion on the 482 different tweets that Lab has made about you, right? So people say they don't like it and it's bad, but they love it.
I love it.
People love it. Thank you.
To clarify,
Thank you for admitting it. Yes.
I love it.
Good.
And I make videos about it and I make money off of it. But is that like good for you?
Yeah, it's good content. It's entertaining as fuck.
Is that all there is, content?
It's like, you ever see the anime Death Note?
Yeah.
Imagine living your life like that. Why would you not want to? You got this other guy trying to destroy your life, okay, writing big articles.
Because it's like stressful, and then in the end he goes crazy and dies.
Well, I haven't gotten to season 2 yet, okay? Don't spoil it, okay? I just finished the episode where he kills L. That's where I'm at. That was my Mr. Girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He finishes writing his 150,000.
My life is kind of like Death
Note. And then I don't die, but he does. And that's like, yeah.
My life is kind of like Death Note, if Death Note was real.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, except instead of writing Death Notes, I write manifestos.
But it doesn't.
It's fun, right? You gotta admit, right? Working on these like papers and you're trying to, like,
fun.
You're like trying to source out all the video stuff, and it's like, can I support this argument? Like, August is me to dig through files, and we've got like all these like secretly recorded conversations, and it's like, it's the right thing here to like justify it, blah blah blah. You put it together, and then you present it. Does it take? Do the people believe you? Do they believe the other guy? Is he gonna have a response that's gonna like totally own your response? Is it gonna take him like months to think anything up? Like, are they gonna have like some shit you don't know about? Is there gonna be recording of you fighting it? Did you collect enough evidence? Did you present it in a compelling way? Did you write it entertaining enough? Like, there's like so much shit that you gotta like factor in. Like, is it concise enough? Do you have like enough information to prove a point? Like, I don't know, I think that's all like really exciting. And it's,
it is exciting, but isn't it like, do you just have like a total emotional disconnect from what you do?
I think it's super emotional. It's like your like life is on the line.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that fucking stressful?
Yeah, but the stress is like driving you forward. Do you think Formula One drivers get stressed?
No, of course they get stressed.
Exactly. But do you think they'd stop driving because of the stress? No. I bet it pushes them forward. To the next manifesto.
I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If I tell you I'm gonna be home by 5, yes, it does. You dumb. It ended up not being true.
First of all, don't talk to me like that.
Okay. Then stop. Hold it. Stop. You're actually triggering the heck out of me.
You just had so many falling outs. Like, I've had like 3 falling outs with people in my life, and it's like, I wasn't like crying over it, but I was like, this like sucks. This kind of hurts.
Yeah, grow your hair out.
Yeah. Listen to My Chemical Romance.
Sorry.
Are you just like numb to that?
My expectations for people are very low, so it's like, yeah.
Grow your hair out. You fucking
My expectations are very low for people.
Why?
I don't know. This is my life.
Can you just find better people?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have really good content.
I guess.
Look, like this past year and a half, I've done a really good job at like keeping people at appropriate distances, making like good relationships. Like all of my drama for the past year and a half has been from like holdovers from my past. But like, where has that gotten us? This has been the most drama-free year for the past year and a half. Boring.
I mean, I found it good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that's
but like,
that's because I started coming on streams.
Imagine if I could have done like the Mr. Girl and Lab shit while I was single. Do you know how much more crazy I could have let that get to without like a partner that was like getting stressed out and shit all the time? That could have been wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most viewed thing probably you did this year in one arc consecutively was probably Melina.
Probably.
The first day you did
divorce,
it.
Yeah.
500k views.
True.
500k views, 600k, like just blow up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's what people like from you, I guess.
Sure.
Doesn't it bother you that maybe just even a little bit that your audience seems more interested in watching your life fall apart than watching the political stuff?
I mean, everybody likes drama. It's dramatic. It's like relatable on a human level.
Of course they like it, but
it's like interpersonal conflict. It's like the
no, I know, I understand that. I understand this as a concept. It's my life.
Yeah.
But like you're in it. Like I would not opt to be in it or avoid it.
I mean, everything passes or you die. I haven't died yet, so you get over it, right?
Ideally, but not everyone makes it out of the drama.
Well, I have so far, 5 times.
I mean, most people, some people get their careers and shit destroyed over it, you know?
Well, just don't do weird shit and that won't happen.
Okay, you haven't done any weird shit.
Not that you know of.
I just feel like you should be more fucked up from all this stuff. I don't know, from all these people just having falling outs with you that you knew.
What do you want me to say? You want me to cry for you? You want me to? You
know,
gonna be a big moment right here? Your Dr. K moment?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I just want you to like.
Yeah. I have really low expectations of people. I think like
You just
people,
want you to like get sad for a day.
people go crazy.
Take a day off streaming to be sad.
Okay. I'll try that.
Or at the gym, you'll be crying.
Yeah, we will be.
The bench press.
You're gonna load up 265, and you're gonna be here, and I'm gonna be spotting you, and then on your way down, I'm gonna be like, I miss her, bro. And you're gonna be like, oh shit, oh shit.
I miss her, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be. I mean, at least I'll show some humanity when I get my windpipe crushed.
Maybe, yeah.
It'd be good.
But now it was time to go back to Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from InfoWars. We're in Miami, Florida today. I didn't expect this, but I feel a presence of beautiful Jewish power.
Where Steve lives and where he would be debating Benjamin Aaron Shapiro. Easily one of the most famous conservatives in the country, the host of the Daily Wire, and now a rapper, apparently, too.
Picture of Pentagon, hexagon, octagon, and then Obama is gone. And a picture. Okay, that was epic.
Given that Destiny was about to have the most impactful debate of his career, I knew he needed to get in tip-top shape because, let's be honest, this guy's been gaming too much and he hasn't been gaining nearly enough. So I decided to take him to the gym to get him in an alpha male mindset so he could completely crush his opponent. That being said, he didn't seem to enjoy the gym very much at all.
He's constantly on his fucking.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for my Ben Shapiro debate in 2 days, okay?
That's not a big deal. The way you're actually gonna get ready for this debate, Steven, is by working out, by
I agree.
act.
I'm here with the greatest soy boy of all time, teaching him how to be an alpha male. We're gonna get a little testosterone in this guy's veins. Maybe that way his wife will be with him instead of meme tips.
Yeah, get this on camera. Here you go.
First exercise we're gonna learn.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Look at you go.
Now, Steven, I think you're gonna have excellent form.
Yeah?
Dexterity.
Oh my
You
God.
need to push all the estrogen out of your bellies.
Did you go so you can do this, okay?
Women will finally be clamoring for you in your Instagram DMs.
Finally.
Something that never happens.
That's what I need. There you go.
Hey, let's see you do this. Come on.
I'm good. I think I'm
Steven.
getting a pump from over here.
We're gonna be working out. No, I'm just showing you proper form. We got the 5 boundaries just for you.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can't do it? No, come on, Steven. I believe in you. He's so strong.
Okay. 2 reps? That's good, right?
Yeah, 2. Exactly.
Is there a reason why you don't go all the way? You just go like halfway up?
There's no particular reason to go
here.
up here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see how vascular I am right now, Steve?
Oh my God, look at that vascularity.
Go. Over your shoulder directly. And go up. And when you go down to 90 degrees.
Only 90?
Yeah, you don't have to go all the way down.
What if I like want to work out like my entire muscle though?
Bad for you. You're gonna tear something. You're not gonna be able to stream or jerk off. He's really passionate about weightlifting. You never expected him to be someone to exercise. It seems like genetically he's an alpha, but his lifestyle is that of a beta.
Oh my God, look at him go. Oh my God, look at him go. Look at him go. Are you getting this? Zoom in on that vascularity. You're a warrior, dude.
Don't you think you'd be happier if you weightlifted?
Yeah, I was like 4 months ago.
No, you're not done. Come on.
How many do I need?
You need to do 4 more.
10 of these?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
What do you mean, oh my God? Oh my God. Oh, he's getting so big. Imagine how much good I would do for the world if I just threw this at your head.
Yeah, really?
Imagine.
I don't think I can bench this anymore, dude.
No, you can. If you can't, I'll make sure that it falls to crush your windpipe.
Yeah. So we good. Hey, don't stand
Don't
so
be a
close.
fucking pusher, Destiny.
Oh my God, this is so heavy for me now.
No, it's not, dude. You got it.
It is.
You're good.
I'm not good.
Dude, you're... Yes. Yep. There you go.
Don't get you put you get. I need you to just get the fuck away from me. Okay. I need you to get the fuck away from me.
4. 5 is melt time.
I need you, dude. You hold on.
You
Stop.
want
like
help?
you need to no. I need you to get the fuck away from me.
Okay, Jesus. I thought you were gonna drop it on your neck. I'm trying
I'm not
to
gonna
save
drop
you.
the bar. That's the kind of spotter that would make me. When I was actually at the gym, I would have killed this motherfucker. Do you know what we call these guys at the gym? We call them gains goblins. Okay, gains goblins. Because when you're working on your last rep, these are the guys who like all of your muscle fibers are, you're stretched, you're pushing as hard as you can. And he comes like, oh, let me help you with that. And he just steals the last rep from you completely. Super hyped for today because it's the first day. He's gonna put up 225 by 5 on the bench. All of us are like really excited for it.
You ready to spot me?
225,
Make
right?
sure your balls are right above my eyes.
Yeah, they're good. Oh, if you want like extra activation for your lower chest right here, when you wrap your thumbs over, do it like this. Okay? No. Like that. There you go.
I'm not doing that.
Gets your lower chest like way more involved.
I'm gonna drop it.
Have you ever thought about for this lift breathing while you do it?
No.
Or do you like to hold your breath through the entire thing?
I like to hold it in.
Yeah? Oh my God.
Those twitch muscle fibers,
Yeah.
begging for oxygen.
How many reps of these would it take to make your head explode if you're holding your breath the whole time? Wait, his tomato face when he was at the last rep of this?
I think one more that I did would make me fucking pop.
Okay. Wait, what do you normally bench at the end of this when you're all...
The most I could do is like 190 or 200.
For how many reps?
Like 4.
Okay.
Can I do more than that? Time for another set?
No, I'm good, I think.
You're not good?
I've already worked out.
You'll be good after another set.
Yeah, 105 is like exhausting.
No, you can do it,
I
dude.
lost everything. I have no muscles anymore. They're all gone.
You're gonna get them.
Okay, I need you to stand over there, okay? you trigger the out of me, all right?
Okay. Everybody start filming to make fun of him.
Okay, if I need help, it's only when the bar is going down, okay? If it goes up like this, don't do it.
You look like you're
okay?
struggling.
If it stops, don't do it.
Okay.
If it goes down, then you can help.
Okay, fucking do it.
Don't touch
I
me
won't save
otherwise.
you.
If you touch me, I'm gonna start screaming racial slurs. All right?
Jack's the knee.
The same way on both sides, right?
Yeah.
You're not f***ing with me, are you?
No. Yes.
Fuck, I'm so weak, dude. I can't. Oh, I can't. I'm a
could've
child.
done
I'm a
one
baby.
more.
I'm a baby. I can't do it. This is heavy.
You're getting so jacked,
It's
dude.
105.
I was impressed, dude.
No, it's not impressive.
You're giant, dude. You're huge. You're a beast. You're a god amongst
I'm
men.
gonna kill myself.
If you were just as
And
jacked
then
as
the
Hassan,
Ben Shapiro debate's not gonna happen.
well, the right will win.
Oh, you should try breathing also when you do this, you know? But
Okay, if you think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
If that's what you really think will work.
yeah, try it. See what happens. See how it goes.
There's 245s and a 10.
It's a 155.
No.
Oh, you're doing one more? Okay, you got it. Push, 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 push. I'm not even touching it. Good job. Fuck. My God, you're a beast. An actual monster.
You're already taking them off.
You're done, right?
You're so excited to leave.
Yeah, get me the fuck out of here. You know, no. I'm only gonna be with you for one more lift.
Yeah,
So
this is the
I
last
get
thing.
to choose.
Okay.
Squats. Let's see it.
You want to squat?
Yeah, show me your squats. Let's go.
I don't fucking squat ever.
I don't care. We want to see it anyway. Let's go.
Okay. How much should I be squatting?
I just do 225. Throw it up.
Okay. There's no way.
You don't think so?
No.
You're a big guy. Look at you, dude.
It's a meme, but truly I'm like a small guy pretending to be a big guy.
Oh no. Put the blues on. They're light.
Yes.
There you go.
Are you gonna make me hurt myself?
No. Look at him clipping it. What, do you think you're gonna fall over?
Maybe. I don't squat.
Yeah.
Ever. Must have done deadlifts.
Why would you do those exercises? Oh, the only reason those lifts exist is to hurt your back, you know? Why even risk it?
What was it? You were reviewing some gym video on your stream of a guy, I think he was deadlifting like this.
Yeah?
With his back completely bent.
He's working out his rounded back form. You've never done that before?
Is that why you're going for more of a round bulk?
Yeah. Why would you want to be able to hurt yourself if you're lifting with a rounded back? That's how you train it.
See, some people, they go for a dirty bulk. Some
Yeah.
people go for a clean bulk. Destiny's going for a round bulk.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I do.
It's
Go ahead.
impressive.
So what's the strategy behind like not putting the weight like all the way on before you clip it?
Wait,
Do you
no.
like want there to be like a little bit of give?
Oh, so
Or?
it's not big.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I didn't know if there's like a, you know, a method behind that.
What's proper form for squat?
Basically, like on your way down, you can kind of like lean over a bit to like kind of push off your toes on the bottom, kind of like do like a free willy, like that, and you're like throwing back your hair like a beautiful mermaid. You wish your hair was that long.
True. What the fuck myself?
God, you're so fucking jacked. Oh my God, dude.
True.
No. Do you really think he needs to? Yeah, set it down. It's for deadlifts. You can hold it. You're good.
I'm gonna fuck myself up so bad if I do this. I'm gonna destroy myself in a way that I won't be able to fix.
You don't think so?
Absolutely. Can you do this?
It shouldn't be that hard. I don't know what I can do anymore. I can't do anything. Damn, this is heavy now. You could do it. If I can still do it, you could do it.
If you say so, Destiny. If you really believe in me.
I do believe in you. Hi.
Are you Destiny?
Sometimes I am, yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet you.
I'm just Tom's protege right now, though.
That's crazy.
Wait, do you know Turkey Tom?
Bodybuilder.
No, bodybuilder. Oh my God, this guy thinks you're a bodybuilder, Tom.
Yeah, I'm a bodybuilder. Yeah,
He
that's
looks
true.
massive, yeah.
What's your name? Nice to meet you.
He's never heard of you before, but he's my fan, so. Turkey Tom on YouTube. He's got 1.1 million subs. Yeah.
Dude, I'll check you out.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him to not be so soy. After what happened with Melina, we're trying to fix things.
Yeah, you know, it
We're
happens.
trying to fix things.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Have a good one. Yeah. Yeah. You killed it, dude. You crushed it. You gonna do a deadlift?
No, I'm done now. I
Wait, do you not
decided
do
it's
any
done.
lifts below like this part of your body?
Nope. Done working out.
You did a great job today.
You'd say you had enough. Let me see this camera.
For sure. We did like 4 whole sets today. I'm fucking jacked.
Do you feel proud of your progress in the gym
Jacked
today?
in the tits, yeah.
You're jacked in the tits,
Yeah,
dude.
jacked in the tits.
Who's gonna be proud of you for this?
Your mom? Careful, don't step on your sunglasses.
You say Despacito?
No, no.
Can you just say Despacito?
Despacito.
Wait, I look even taller than I am.
Oh my god, yeah.
Give me a hug, Mom.
Aw. Wait, let me sniff your hair.
I'm good.
It smells bad.
No. I finish here for your mom because she likes all the different textures of my hair. As I put my head in her pussy and I go.
I've never heard someone say that before.
And as a post-workout meal, we engaged in some curry, which is easily the best post-workout meal, and also the best meal you can use when you're getting ready to debate a popular Jewish conservative.
Shout out, is this Lycan? Yeah. Whoa. So what's your plan for tonight? You're gonna do some debate review? Why do you think Ben believes the things he does then? If you think he's probably a relatively intelligent person, how can he believe that Trump is better than Biden?
I'm trying to think of a nice way to say he's partisan.
Okay.
Like, because he does like a conservative media network, he kind of has to defend all the conservative things.
Destiny's personal chef whipped us up some chicken tikka masala. It's excellent, it's delicious, absolutely fantastic. It's got some Celsius, some milk, 2 bottles of wine. Oh, there we go. That's the Destiny I know. That's the Destiny I know, dude. When you get Destiny natty, we're gonna get Destiny jacked in one weekend. I mean, pretty boring apartment. It's nice. Look at that. We walk in, his computer was on, his own subreddit was open. He sits nice and low to the ground. He sits real low.
Actually, we're being honest, and actually went a completely different way than that. Actually, libtard. Actually, republitard.
He's got 2 mics. I guess this is when this boy comes over, when Abba comes over, when it's Mel time. This is where all those poor abused women wind up. You got some pictures of him with his son. Destiny looks very Nordic. Looks like a Viking in these pictures. I want to replace his child. He's gonna go home to find his kid. I'm gonna be in this kid's bedroom. Like,
I love you. Daddy, you've been streaming so much. I'm proud of you. Daddy, you own Ben Shapiro.
he's got like a Gotham City skyline as his background. I love Gotham City. I feel a presence. I'm in Destiny's apartment and I feel a presence.
So, when I was in Steve's office at one point, I found this little book on his shelf titled To My Steven. Melina had apparently made it for him when they were still together, and it features all of these like touching moments they had together.
To my Steven. Oh. Oh, shit. What? Nothing. Oh. This is such a sweet book. Hey, this here he is here. She's up there, painting. It's a metaphor for the fact she didn't get any work done. The movies. We went to Montreal and stayed at a very memorable place. A ton of silent old people was there. Fuck retard. Speak American. They walked again and ran it. Aw. He's a real person. We called every day twice. Oh wait, Melly Mel. After 2 months, we finally saw each other again. I went out to get breakfast while I was waiting for you at a hotel in London. When I got back, you were already there.
What are you doing?
Some cozy London adventure. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah,
dude.
cute.
This is so sweet. You're a real fucking human, dude. You're not a sociopath.
Well, you know, she made that, not me.
One of my best memories of you is when we tripped together on LSD. You hugged my legs for hours. You cried when you looked at me and said you never want to lose me. This is so sweet.
That's gay.
It's a little gay, but it's kind of nice. That's Bad Bunny. I can't wait for all the adventures ahead. You give me so much memories, friends, growth, experiences, cuddles, hugs, sex, kisses, warmth, travels, happiness, and love. Never want to lose you. You're the best person I've ever met, and the person I love the most in the whole world. I know we can do anything together. Holy shit, I'm gonna start crying, dude. I'm gonna start fucking bawling. Holy shit.
You know, I'm someone who has made fun of the whole open relationship thing before, and I guess seeing this like normal couple thing in real life made me realize that while I still disagree with the premise of an open relationship, at the end of the day, it's still a real interpersonal relationship they had with real emotions. It also sort of humanized Steve to me because on stream and even in real life, he comes across as somewhat of an emotionally disconnected person. A lot of people think he's like sociopathic, and yet apparently here he was crying all night, holding a girl's legs, telling her that he loved her and never wanted to lose her. It makes me question if his sort of disconnected, callous attitude towards the divorce in general and how he feels about it is somewhat of a front.
We went back to Steven's house where he was engaged in some deep research. It was at that moment that Steven officially got into the mainframe. Access denied. Your access was denied, dude. You need to get in. Denied, dude. Access denied again. Their conservatives are gonna win. Okay, we'll leave in a sec. Just before I leave, I gotta give you something. Oh, I do have it. All right, here we go. This is just for you. Special made just for Steven. Nope, 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 you're not throwing it away. A token of my gratitude. So I'll always be with you, even after I leave.
Merch?
Yeah.
With our questions out of the way, we left for the night while he researched for his most important appearance to date, the Ben Shapiro debates.
Does body count matter?
Jesus Christ. You're really bringing up the red pill stuff.
Oh,
If you're somebody that doesn't care about it, it doesn't. If you're somebody that does care about it, yeah, it does, of course. Depends on the...
The answer is yes.
I think that the conduct and the behavior leading up to and including January 6th, I think is wildly indefensible. I am excited to see Ben try to, yeah.
Do you think that today Donald Trump knows that he lost the election?
Absolutely.
So I don't.
Him to go and propagate those claims that he'd asked all of the people he trusted to research, and then for him to take those claims to Michigan and to Georgia, and then publicly, and to try to convince people to throw out the election, you don't think that...
But you're doing the same thing. You're reverting to, should a reasonable person have known? Yes, a reasonable person should have known. Did Donald Trump know? And I want to make sure we chat.
The legal stuff.
Okay, okay, so we're just talking.
We're not looking at it, because like you said,
fine. I mean, I'll concede that he was more inappropriate than others. I just don't see
most inappropriate.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
that's important to me, though. Does it not bother you that, like, Donald Trump sought through legal and extra legal and Trump magical ways of trying to entrench his power as president past when he should have been able to? Is that not something that is incredibly troublesome? Like, let's say hypothetically, Lord, save me. Let's say hypothetically.
So if you're asking me, do I think that Trump has bad intent or could have bad intent with that sort of stuff? Sure. Do I believe that the guardrails held and will continue to hold? Also, sure. Here's my question. Do you think the guardrails are going to fail to hold?
I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the issue is one, when it's election time, Republicans are spineless in office.
What is all of this in service of? What's the generalized argument that you're making? Do you believe there will be no more elections? Is that like what
I
put
don't
a percentage on it? What percentage do you think that that's a reality?
If Donald Trump wins, I think there is a 100% chance that he will try to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. In terms of would he succeed?
I can guarantee you he will not do that.
Has Donald Trump himself joked about running for a third term? I think that having a third term.
What has Donald Trump not joked about? I mean,
hold on.
If you want to prevent him from creating a revolution, you probably should actually just appoint him president, and then he can't run again. Obviously, this is not the same thing. We can all tell what somebody's age is by looking at their birth certificate. I can't tell whether somebody's an insurrectionist without any reference to a legal statute or definition of the term.
I would also be careful with that because remember, one of Trump's first big political actions was challenging Obama's birth certificate.
Well, and I thought that was dumb at the time. But
sure.
In any case,
I just think that I think it's scary that Donald Trump would actually do that with his DOJ, would give them orders.
He didn't. He didn't.
Well,
he kind
of did though, right? Okay, so then the idea is essentially that Donald Trump's rhetoric is insane, but we don't care. Donald Trump would probably try to steal an election if he could, but he probably won't be able to.
He's not going to do it again. I told you. He's not.
You don't think he has any? Why not? When there's like 50 million other things.
And I'll make you the case that if you want him not to make election trouble, you should elect him president in the next election cycle, and then he will be ineligible.
Okay. Well, I find that to be a wholly unconvincing argument.
Ben, you've gotten a chance to talk to Destiny now. What do you like about the guy?
A lot of the same sorts of things, but it's really fun to see how you do your process. That is a cool thing. And it's a gift to the audience. Because, honestly, doing what we do, so much of what we do is sitting and reading and being behind closed doors and educating yourself and talking with people. But getting to watch you do it in real time is a really cool window into how people think and how people learn. So that's a really neat thing.
She said that I need to mew more, and she also said that I can't protect anyone.
Do you need to mew more?
Yeah, because my jawline is weak. Yeah.
Sight. This is like one of the cleanest like range pistols I've ever seen.
Oh, the sight is like really like deep.
Yeah, it's a super nice gun. Oh my god.
The clap is hard.
You just need the Punisher hat, and you could do even more of these.
Dude, Punisher? I hardly know her.
Good one.
So how was the debate? It was good?
I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why did it go well?
We covered a wide amount of topics. I feel like we got kind of into some of them. I think it would have been more interesting to like go really deep on one or two things, but Lex kind of wanted to keep it moving along to cover a broad range of topics. And yeah, we got to feel each other out. I got his phone number, maybe catch.
So you actually got along?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, you think you'll do content together in the future a little bit?
I don't know.
I think it'd be cool to have you as like a recurring guest on Daily Wire stuff. Like, you know how Fox will have like the token libtard call in?
Maybe, yeah. I don't mind like Ben Shapiro kind of, but everybody else on that network is like radically farther to the right.
Other people is like Matt Walsh?
Yeah, so like Walsh, Kevin Knowles, Candace Owens. These people are like significantly to the right, I think, of like Ben Shapiro, and they fixate a lot more on like culture issues, which is like...
Why do you think Ben even agreed to do this?
Probably because he's friends with Lex. Probably because the Daily Wire might have thought it was an okay media strategy because I've had TikTok stuff blow up, and I think they're like orienting towards that kind of stuff.
So you think you came to sort of a middle ground on some issues, maybe, or was it more like agree to disagree type thing?
Like, I'm gonna agree with him more on Israel-Palestine than probably many people on the left, but there are gonna be some things that we have big fundamental disagreements on.
Do you actually enjoy conversations like this?
Yeah, I think. One of the things that I like, I think one of my strengths, one of the reasons why people like watching my content is because I don't have a particular political slant. Like, I am essentially like a progressive liberal or whatever, but I don't have like any allegiance to the label, which I think is actually really important. Not just because I can say like, oh, I'm not partisan or whatever, but because anytime a new issue comes up, like I can truly give my opinion on an issue. So when people watch my stream, it's like, oh, what is like Destiny's thought on a thing?
It's not what's the left's
Yeah,
thought.
exactly. And it also gives me a lot more flexibility to navigate conversations to where, like, if I discover something, like, I can genuinely have my mind changed, and I don't feel like a huge pressure where it's like, oh, like, if I have this opinion on, like, Kyle Rittenhouse, like, everybody in the left is gonna hate me. Or if I side with Israel, everybody in the left is gonna hate me. Or, you know, if I think that, you know, some of the BLM protests were justified, everybody on the right's gonna fucking hate me. Whereas, like, tomorrow, if like a research paper came out that proved socialism was like the best way to organize an economy, Ben Shapiro can never admit that, right? Because it's the Daily Wire. They're conservative.
Do you have any fear over expressing opinions that are going to get you in shit with your audience or with other people's audiences?
No, I never like prepare people like pretty well for what I do and who I am. Like, people make fun of me for it sometimes, and people sometimes give me shit over it, but like things like the George Floyd Ashley Babbitt tweet or things like the pedophile tweet are actually like really important establishing grounds for the type of audience I want, the type of person I am, and to set expectations for what you can see from me.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we talked a little bit about like the super mega stuff, sometimes people can become, or Ethan Klein a little bit, you can kind of become a victim of the audience that you create. And I had that issue in the past. Remember when I split with Bosch and Hassan and I realized like so many of my audience is fucking socialists and communists and shit. So I like to go back and forth on a lot of issues or be a little bit edgy sometimes because it's just the audience expectation. And there's not going to be an issue that pops up where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe Destiny believes this. And then like everybody leaves because they're so asinine over it.
Yeah, whereas there have been times when like a few thousand people have left and just gone away. That must have been scary, no?
Nah, I'm pretty confident in what I do.
Why?
I don't know. like even when that happened with Hassan and Vosh, I'd been a streamer for what, 7 years? Like the average lifespan in online content creation, like at its doing well, is like what, like 2 to 3 years, maybe 3 to 5. So I feel like I'd lasted long enough. The scariest part of my career was switching from StarCraft to League of Legends because that was like I'd never done a big dip like that before. But past that, I think it'd be nice.
Do you put any thought into like curating your public image to be a little different or a little like, I don't know, more clean or like trying to be optical in regards to like how you're perceived? Because I imagine making comments like, you know, what you say on Twitter might affect your ability to talk to someone like Ben Shapiro. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't become an issue sooner.
Like, there are going to be issues with it. There might be some people that I can never talk to. Like, maybe I never get a handshake with Biden and a picture with them. But I think as long as your ideas are popular enough, you get enough viewership, your content's good enough, I think I've got access to almost everything I want access to. Like, I'll never be a mainstream media clean figure, but oh my God, like the exhaustion of like curating my image to conform to that, I don't think I would enjoy it. Whereas like I super enjoy all of this. Like, you see me like giggle like a fucking retard, like tweeting at dinner and shit, like that's fun for me. And I enjoy it, and I like make money off of it. Like, it's like a dream job.
Yeah.
Why would I try to like contort myself, what, like 7 figures a month or a year, like isn't enough money, or like this many YouTube subs isn't enough like attention, or like the talking to people, so like talking to Ben Shapiro's not enough, I need to talk to the president. Like, yeah, I don't know, I feel like sometimes people get so obsessed with like trying to grow or get bigger that like people will be making like really good money or really good popularity and then they throw it all away, like becoming miserable at their job. Why the fuck would you do that?
Well, I guess if your goal is political effectiveness, aren't there benefits to cucking?
I think a little bit, yeah. But I think it's important that you recognize what your strengths are. I think I'm pretty smart. I think I'm pretty smart. I think I can research really well. I don't think I'm anywhere near the best at that. Not even close. There's going to be kids that can Ben Shapiro be kind of like Harvard or Yale or whatever. There's going to be kids that are way better than that. But I think I'm pretty funny. I think I can be really edgy. I think I can be really personable. I think I can argue on the fly really well. And I can do all the research stuff too. I think that the combination of those traits, I think that's something that I do, not to jerk myself, but like one of the best in the world, I think, at that. This is like what I excel in. So why would I try to take away from some of the edginess and the humor and the fun and that to try to like put more points into being like a more family-friendly type person? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not what I excel in. Why would I try that, you know?
Yeah, and I guess ultimately if you did that, eventually you'd probably slip up because who you truly are is this. And if you try to be someone else, eventually you'll probably slip up. Eventually it will get out. Eventually you will have one of these like mass audience
Potentially, yeah. There's pros and cons to everything. Like, yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. I just had a conversation with another large content creator today talking about that because a lot of people look at my life, for instance, and they're like, it must be so hard to be like so public about everything you do and everything you are, and like the Melina, the divorce, and people making videos. And there's an element of truth to that. Like, it is hard, but there are also so many parts of my life that are so unbelievably easy. I never have to worry about anything leaking. I never have to worry about somebody doing like an expose on me. I never have to worry about any of this because like all of it is like pretty public. And it's like, what are you gonna expose? Like everybody knows everything about me.
Well, you say you don't worry, but you put a lot of prep time into like the Capitals Manifesto or the Bob 7 Manifesto. So regardless of like not worrying, like that takes a considerable amount of time to get that stuff together and be able to like show the audience like how you feel about it.
Yeah,
so clearly there is some cautiousness around how you handle that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the presentation and the argument, we had a talk with this. I don't know if you have the camera on, but like when you go to do public statements and stuff, sometimes like the timing and the message is more important than any of the underlying facts. So yeah, getting that together is important. But what I'm saying is that like there's never gonna be like a thing leaks from me and people are like, oh, he's that kind of person, right? I've never like ranked anyone or did anything rude with a girl. Like I'm like pretty edgy, so like if a DM leaks and I'm telling like an edgy joke, like nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, like he said that word and like who cares? Like, I got the NRT tweet, like that was a banger tweet. Yeah, so like I don't have to worry about like a true character reveal is basically what I mean. Okay. Like basically anything that ever leaks to me usually shows me being like more of a sucker than like I'm overpaying somebody or I'm being nice.
The interesting thing to me about this trip has been discovering, well I guess I knew it, I don't know. I know you're a person, but like on stream you come across like a very certain way. You're kind of an aggressive person, you're kind of a dick, and that's fun, that's the content, that is part of who you are. But also part of you is like, you're kind of a soft guy, I don't know, you're kind of a nice guy.
No, that's gonna be cut.
You are. Like when I read that book on your shelf, like
I make that shit up. I bring girls over and have them read that so that they.
You're a nice guy.
Who are underage.
You are a nice guy. You overpay people. For your friends, you do a lot for them.
Currency conversion.
For your kid, you pay for everything for him and his mom, despite whatever adverse relationship you have.
I try my best. I think I do a better job than most, but I'm far from perfect.
Well, nobody's ever perfect, but. You probably do better than the average, like family-friendly, like openly clean, nice streamer who behind the scenes might not be that way.
Maybe.
But
the YouTube world and the streaming world is the bar is in hell for these people. So.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of shitty, horrible influencer type people. Yeah.
There's a lot of shitty people, but I also think a lot of it is overblown because we hear about the worst ones the most. Like we're overexposed to that. There's a lot of people who are probably perfectly nice who just aren't engaged in like drama shit all the time. We're hyper aware of the trauma because we exist in like the most parasocial, the most drama focused. Like I'm a drama channel, that's my thing. You are like not a drama channel, but you have drama with people, you have drama with other big streamers. Sure. And when drama goes down, like with Pokey and Fed or whatever, you're covering it, you're going deep into it. And even on your stream, you're personally having follow-ups with people that you know or knew or do content with. So you're like hyper exposed to those kinds of people. People are complicated, but the average person is probably at least trying to be a good person, I think.
Sure.
I would like to think.
Yeah.
You agree?
Usually. I think that it sounds so cliche and we're so cringe like big microslubs, but I do think that sometimes fame and money can change people a lot. Where once they start to get a taste of the fame or a taste of like the social media clout or whatever, it really changes the way they interact with other people and engage with the world. But maybe that's not everybody, I don't know. You probably engage with the circles that we run in that are like way different too, so.
A little bit. I don't run in that many circles.
The commentary circle.
Doesn't really
Didn't we just watch a video of me talking to like 20 other commentary channel people and you popped in like 2 years ago? You popped in to tell a meme or something.
Right? I think I just called you, I think it was just like, aren't you a cuck or something like that?
I don't think it was a cuck meme. I think it was something different.
Maybe it was something
because
else.
The cuck jokes didn't act. No, it's funny because nobody considered people in open relationships to be cucks until the red pill shit started, which got really popular like 2 years ago with like the Tates or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, we'll go over it. So then you can really cut me off.
Absolutely.
And maybe sign an NDA for this entire week.
Maybe.
So I waste thousands of dollars on this trip.
Based. But at least you got some good tactical firearms training.
True, I did. Now I can come kill you. Have the divorce and all these falling outs changed how you view interpersonal relationships and the kinds of people you want to interact with going forward and how you're going to handle that?
No, I'm always like learning a little bit better every day on how to set better boundaries, on how, like, what distance to keep people from me. It'll be interesting managing these things without being in a relationship because it gives me a lot more freedom to manage everything on my own. Like, it's hard when you're in a relationship because you've got to manage what you can handle and what your partner can handle. But now, without having to worry about that, I have a lot more freedom and flexibility to navigate these things in whatever way optimizes for the content, you know?
For the content?
For the content. Like, if Lav and Mr. Girl want to come over for a week, now I can be like, you know what? Fuck it, I got an extra room.
Is that real?
Like 20% real.
So you would do a content house with them maybe for a little bit.
Not a content house, but I'm saying like I might collab with some maybe crazier people if I think it could be good content. Because I
Really?
can handle the engagements and the separation.
Is your number one priority good, like funny drama content, or is it like political effectiveness? I think these things conflict sometimes.
I think it just depends. Like I do a lot of different stuff on my channel, and I like doing a lot of different stuff. Like I like that I have like the biggest videos covering like the Pokemon Fedmeister drama and the Miskiff shit, and then I like that I've like debating Cenk Uygur on like Israel-Palestine and Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro. Like I like doing a variety of stuff. It's super fun for me. It draws like a ton of different audiences. It keeps my content like fresh and invigorating. It keeps me relevant in terms of like everybody looking at me. It makes it so I'm not bored out of my fucking mind going over one thing every single fucking day. So yeah, I don't know. I like doing a variety of stuff. And drama is like fun and crazy. And I don't know. Were you watching my streams during like the Lab and Mr. Girl arc?
Yes.
Those are some wild fucking
They were-
streams.
they-
Those were like these were like top tier.
They were excellent, but it's more like self-serving to you and your audience than like, I don't know, helping the broader scope of the political landscape. And like,
Yeah, that's true.
if your number one goal is like, I think your number one goal is like probably political effectiveness.
That's definitely a big one, yeah. There's Peter Singer is like one of the biggest like utilitarian philosopher writers.
Peter who?
Peter Singer.
Okay.
I think it's him. He wrote like a little. I don't think it's a paper. He just wrote like a little article, I think, on having a cup of coffee as a utilitarian, and it's this idea that if you're a utilitarian, right? These are people who are supposed to maximize every action for the benefit of society. That every cup of coffee you drink is like 2 African children dying. Every time you make an internet payment, you're killing like 100 people. Like you could be donating every single extra dollar you make to charity. But at the end of the day, life would be fucking miserable, and you probably.
If you're miserable, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like a careful line I have to walk between like how much is too self-indulgent. Like if we started to do like 12 months of exclusively OnlyFans girls fighting people that are arguing about body count and pedophilia or some crazy shit, and then like no political content, that'd probably be bad. But if I did like 12 months of like what I just did for Israel-Palestine, where it's just like we're researching and reading every single day and that's all we're gonna do, I don't know if that would be as much fun either. So I try to
Get boring for you think?
I try to like walk a fine line between both.
Is your number one goal in life through everything work? Would you be willing to sacrifice most of your personal relationships right now? If I had a button, one button says sacrifice all my personal relationships and friends, and one button says my job is gonna like 10x in the next year, what would you press?
I mean, that's a hard one because like so much of my job is like stuff that I enjoy doing and is integrated so much with like friendships and everything. So like I think I've even said this to you probably multiple times at this point, that if I worked at McDonald's, I would work at McDonald's, I would come home and I would jump on my computer and start like fighting on Twitter with people. Like that's just what I would do, and then I'd play video games. If I 10x work, I'm also getting massive enjoyment out of my personal life too. So I guess so kind of yes, but also it's hard to answer the question because a lot of my work relationships are integrated with my personal ones as well.
You can't have one without the other.
Well, what about like my work friends? Do I not get that? What do you count as? If I 10x my work,
I guess
I
I get
10 turkey toms.
I guess the question is kind of silly, but ultimately what I'm getting at is like, where do your priorities really lie?
They definitely lie with work, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you've made some sacrifices for that.
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah. But also, like, I mean, I enjoy, for the most part, like, what I do with my work. Yeah, like, there have definitely been some sacrifices, but, I mean, my career's going really well, and we'll see how it continues to go, and maybe my priorities will change in the future, or, I don't know.
What's your goal with your streaming in the next, I don't know, forever? What do you want to do? What goals do you want to accomplish? What mountains have you yet to tackle? Obviously, you just tackled Ben Shapiro was a big one. I can't really think of a more popular conservative right now. Maybe Tucker, but he was more popular when he was on Fox.
Yeah.
What is like? I guess it doesn't have to be
The
specific.
goal, the true goal, and I keep putting this off. I'm not putting it off. I'm waiting for that podcast to take off. I really want a media company. Like, I would want to be able to set the discourse for what people are talking about every day in the United States. That would be my dream, I think.
Like hiring your own like talent to have
Sure,
like
like having
show hosts?
talent, having people with a website that like write articles, having like I read like this, like instead of the Daily Wire,
You would read your
Destiny
own?
page.
Isn't that a little incestuous?
Yeah. No, but not me, but like another person. Like the idea that I could set like media discourse would be super fun. I enjoy it in the communities that I'm in. It'd be fun to do it on a national or international level.
Yeah, just takes time.
Mhm.
Takes a lifetime. Cool. You have fun this week?
Yeah. Did you have fun this week?
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Except getting sick. That kind of sucked, but
Yeah, well,
we troopered through it. So.
it happens. Yeah, gotta suffer for swag a little bit.
For real,
It happens.
And we swagged out at Walmart.
We
That's good.
swagged the f out.
swagged
I accidentally left all those clothes in the trunk of my rental.
Oh my god. I'm the only one with the.
Apart from I have the MLK one.
Oh, okay.
Which is the most
And I've got
important
the Malcolm X one and the Shrek hoodie, so.
You have the Shrek one?
I'm so
You better wear that on stream. That'd be so fucking funny.
At the end of the day, I don't think Destiny is for everyone. If you don't like that he's edgy, then that's fair enough, although I don't know why you're watching my videos either, if that's the case. If you want to make fun of his relationships, I mean, that's fair enough too. If you disagree with his politics or you think he's dumb, I'm sure there are a lot of you out there, and I don't necessarily blame you if you feel that way. But what I found from spending a week with the guy was a pretty intelligent, career-centered person with a strong conviction for what he believes in, a passion for conversation and moving his ideals forward, and he's also someone who seems to like people a lot. He gravitates towards interpersonal relationships and interactions a lot, which is probably why his relationship was open and he couldn't seem to fucking close it for whatever reason. And I guess he's also a boomer, and that's part of him. You can't deny that. He's also not as short as I expected. I literally thought he was 5'3", but in reality, he's like 5'7", maybe even 5'8". It's not that bad. But he's also sort of a sensitive dude somewhere deep down where he can hide it from his audience. Also, Destiny is a girl's name. Bye. Hey, future haircut Tom here. Just want to say if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And check out the Tom IRL channel in the description and top comment below, where there's a lot more IRL filmed content and real life stuff you guys can check out. And if you like this video, be sure to share it around with your friends. This video is obviously one of those that takes a little bit more effort and production and money than the normal vids. So I would appreciate all of your support very much. If you liked it, if you didn't, bye. And also if you liked it, goodbye. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
On civilians. No.
I don't understand why these retards think this. People say, like, I don't even agree with Benny's position that like international law is irrelevant. But somebody will be like, international law is irrelevant, and it's like, oh, if you think international law is irrelevant, then you can't condemn Hamas's actions. What? What do you mean? These have nothing to do with each other. It would make sense if Israel was saying, we want the international community to help us because what Hamas did was illegal. I don't think Israel's asking for that. Israel doesn't give a f. They don't expect anybody to help them because of international law. You can condemn attacks or not condemn attacks because of your moral standings or whatever. That have nothing to do with international law. What? This point is nothing. It doesn't connect to anything that's been said ever.
No matter who it comes from, whether you agree with their cause or you don't agree with their cause. That's the only consistent position. It's a position that, Norm and Malene are both perfectly comfortable in, both perfectly comfortable for calling for, ICC hearings and review of what happened.
Wait, but Norm says he doesn't care about international law because he is okay with the Houthis shooting ships in the ocean. Wait, that's not consistent at all. What do you mean?
Happened on both sides and those who committed war crimes being held to account. But, it was very illuminating to watch at this point that extended of a debate where you can't just do Hamas, you can't just filibuster for a few minutes, where you actually have to try to detail your points. At this point, given what we know, attempting to fully defend Israel as a moral actor was a very revealing exercise.
It's interesting. Maybe I will listen to more of it. All right, we'll see you guys later. I know it was a long one, but we'll get it to you as soon as we can.
On the ground.
Crystal, what do you think about that?
Podcaster Lex Friedman recently hosted a roughly 5-hour-long debate on Israel-Palestine that was frustrating, combative at times, but nevertheless extraordinarily revealing. The debate featured author and scholar Norman Finkelstein, analyst and researcher Malene Rabbani arguing the Palestinian perspective. On the pro-Zionist side, you had author and historian Benny Morris and YouTuber Stephen Bennell, also known as Destiny. Now, if your immediate reaction is that one of these individuals doesn't quite fit in with the rest, you are correct, and it was painfully obvious the entire 5 hours. Now, if your immediate reaction is that you had author and scholar Norman Finkelstein, and it was frustrating, combative at times, but nevertheless extraordinarily revealing. The debate featured author and scholar Norman Finkelstein, analyst and researcher Malene Rabbani arguing the Palestinian perspective. On the pro-Zionist side, you had author and historian Benny Morris and YouTuber.
What does scholar mean? Is there an official definition for that? I don't like that people put up Benny Morris and Norman Finkelstein as like they're the same level of historian. They're not at all. It's not even remotely close. I hate that people draw an equivalence between these things. If you want to say that people didn't belong in this debate, sure, maybe. But that would mean that like the only one that belonged there was Benny Morris. Nobody else in that room was even remotely at the level that Benny Morris was. So the idea that
Stephen Bennell, also known as Destiny. Now, if your immediate reaction is that one of these individuals doesn't quite fit in with the rest, you are correct, and it was painfully obvious the entire 5 hours that Destiny was wildly on side of his depth. In fact,
Okay, thank God. At least she's gonna bring up a couple points or a couple parts where Norm either directly refuted something I said or where I was completely and totally incorrect. Oh God, I'm so excited for this. All right, finally, a substantive critique. Here we go.
although many of the viral clips from the debate involve Destiny's humiliation at the hands of Norm Finkelstein, the truth is that for most of the debate, he was kind of irrelevant, sitting like a child at the grown-ups table. His presence was nevertheless useful for helping to illustrate the combination of ignorance, willful blindness, and debate bro tricks of the trade that are required to fully defend the Israeli position at this point in time. Benny Morris and Destiny threw every propaganda device in the Hasbara playbook up against the wall to see what would stick. So let's see how it went in the face of what at this point is an undeniable and
What, all the propaganda devices? What?
Defensible reality. So first up, any good Hasbara campaign has got to start with a fairy tale view of history. Now, in this history, the only permitted victims are Jewish people who no doubt were horribly victimized in the Holocaust. And in this history, the only just response to those atrocities is not for the US, or the UK, or Germany, or the Soviet Union to provide justice, peace, and safety for the Jewish people, but rather to impose that burden entirely on a people who had nothing to do with the Holocaust, and who had in fact been, by and large, living peaceably alongside indigenous Jews for centuries. In other words, the only solution to a European atrocity was to give license to an additional atrocity, the ethnic cleansing of the native Arab Palestinian population from...
I like how she probably doesn't even know, like, anything. I doubt she knows anything about Israel-Palestine. She probably thinks the West Bank is to the west of the Gaza Strip. That's the level of knowledge we're dealing with here. I think that there's probably a script writer for the teleprompter, and she's just reading the script at, like, somebody in the back row for her. She didn't watch any of this. She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. And that's 100 billion%.
Their own land. The only acceptable response of that Palestinian population was then to meekly accept their dispossession. To do otherwise is to prove that Arabs from the beginning were violent, unreasonable, and anti-Semitic. This was a matter of quite a lot of debate at the beginning of the podcast. Here, for example, is Destiny challenging the idea that expulsion, or ethnic cleansing, was a core and necessary element of Zionism from the outset.
A claim that gets brought up a lot has to do with the inevitability of transfer in Zionism, or the idea that as soon as the Jews envisioned a state in Palestine, they knew that it would involve some mass transfer of population, perhaps a mass expulsion. I'm sure we'll talk about Plan Dalet or Plan D at some point. The issue that I run into is, while you can find quotes from leaders, while you can find maybe desires expressed in diaries, I feel like it's hard to truly ever know if there would have been mass transfer in the face of Arab peace, because I feel like every time there was a huge deal on the table that would have had a sizable Jewish and Arab population living together, the Arabs would reject it out of hand. So for instance, when we say that transfer was inevitable, when we say that Zionists would have never accepted, a sizable Arab population.
Can you give a Steelman explanation of how these people get these takes from the conversation? Well, not to sound like memey or whatever, but like 98% of people commenting on this haven't watched more than like 3 or 4 minutes of it. The way that it works is you hear somebody else's characterization of it, and then you repeat that characterization as though you watched it. This is why when I say things, when I bring things up, and I'm like, oh, I heard this about this thing. If I only read headlines, or if I only, I'll try to say that. Like, yeah, I saw these headlines on Twitter, so I assume this is what it's about. I try to say that, and rather than saying like, oh yeah, this debate, this person said that or that, because I haven't watched it, I don't really know. Especially now that I'm Vivanced out and I can read everything, I'll usually just I'll try to say if I'm giving you somebody else's summary, or like, oh, I saw this as like a few comments on Reddit or whatever, because yeah, people will pass it off as though they've watched the whole thing. Well, my point here is entirely, this is a perfect point. I'm so curious what the counter is to this point. This would have been a thing, by the way, if it was a one-on-one debate, this is what I would have harped on and I would have screamed at somebody. What is one deal that the Arabs accepted that would have had Jews living there? What is a single deal? One deal, a single deal. Because I can point to like at least 3 that the Jews accepted. Give me one. Give me one. One deal. The Jews were okay with the split in the Peel Commission. The Jews were okay with the split in 47 for the partition plan. The Jews were okay with the split in 52 at the Lausanne Peace Conference. Give me one deal that the Arabs accepted with any amount of Jewish people living there from Europe. Any. One deal. What is the counter to that argument? Just one counter. One counter.
Rejected out of hand. So for instance, when we say that transfer was inevitable, when we say that Zionists would have never accepted, a sizable Arab population, how do you explain the acceptance of the 47 partition plan that would have had a huge Arab population living in the Jewish state? Is your contention that after the acceptance of that, after the establishment of that state, that Jews would have slowly started to expel all of these Arab citizens from their country? Or how do you explain that in Lausanne a couple years later that Israel was willing to formally...
God, the most humiliating part here is you can see that, like, if you look at the curved corners of the lips here as Benny Morris is looking down, Benny Morris is thinking of 2 things. One, he's like, God, everything my debate partner is saying is so stupid. And then he's looking down at my machine over here. It's kind of hard to tell here, but there is one of the things I did for this debate is I reskinned the Wikipedia thing. Basically, you can run it through like there's like an add-on you can get, and then you can apply different CSS styles, so it looks like it might be like notes or some like lame shit that I might have worked on in my free time. No, it's actually just the wiki page, but it's with a black background, and then you can apply different colors to different paragraphs to make it look like something you've worked on. So, but Benny obviously can see through this, and he's incredibly disappointed the entire time. He's like nodding along like, oh, fuck me, I'm gonna be next to this fucking moron for 5 hours, kill me.
all of these Arab citizens from their country? Or how do you explain that in Busan a couple years later that Israel was willing to formally annex the Gaza Strip and make 200,000 or so people those citizens? But I'm just curious, how do we get this idea of Zionism always means mass transfer? And there were times, at least early on in the history of Israel and a little bit before it, where Israel would have accepted a state that would have had...
There's no real response to any of my questions in this entire debate, by the way. There's not a single response to any of these points. It drives me crazy.
Massive Arab population in it. Is your idea that they would have just slowly expelled them afterwards?
Yes. In fact, expulsion or apartheid is the only logical outcome of establishing a Jewish state in a land that was and is majority Muslim Arab.
Wait, what? Oh, well, fuck me. I didn't know you could just say, yeah, they would have. Holy shit. Oh! My bad. They would have just done it. Oh, well, f me. What an ingenious fucking argument. Holy sh! I never considered that they might have just did the thing and f it, who cares? Well, holy f me. My God.
Arab population in it. Is your idea that they would have just slowly expelled them afterwards?
Yes. In fact, expulsion or apartheid is the only logical outcome of establishing a Jewish state.
That's crazy. How do you explain the 2 million Arab Israelis living there right now? How do you explain the fact that right now there are more Arabs living in Israel proper than Jews have ever lived in every single Arab state combined in the history of all of mankind? How do you explain that? Why didn't they expel them?
In a land that was and is majority Muslim Arab. Zionist leaders at the time were pretty open about this and about the necessity of violence and conflict with that indigenous population. For example, Joseph Weitz, head of the Jewish Agency's colonization department, said in 1940, quote, "Between ourselves, it must be clear that there is no room for both peoples together in this country. We shall not achieve our goal if the Arabs are in this small country. There is no other way than to transfer the Arabs."
You know, she doesn't know anything about anything that's going on. Yes, this quote was in 1940. The whole Arab revolts were from 36 to 39. It was a ton of violence. It had already started to happen. Benny Morris literally addresses us into the debate. Your writers didn't even watch the debate. Yes, the whole point was that Arab violence was making coexistence impossible. This happened after the Peel Commission. The Peel Commission had already recommended partition of these lands. The Arab revolts had already happened. And nothing was working. So yeah, they were like, okay, well, it doesn't work.
From here to neighboring countries, all of them, not one village, not one tribe, should be left.
Crazy that there were huge villages and tribes left, though. Isn't that strange that even though Weizmann might have wanted this, that's not what actually happened?
So, pretty clear cut. And there are plenty of other historical...
Oh, clear cut. Well, well, if you have one quote, me, I guess.
quotes besides that make it clear early Zionist leaders realized their ideology would inevitably result in conflict with Palestinians. Some acknowledged that Arab resistance was in fact logical and even just, and that they would also...
Bro, you need to get future interlocutors to agree up front that by participating in the debate, they acknowledge that you are worth their time to engage with. Never seen such epic proportions of cope. Barely seen any critiques of anything you brought up, just add-ons. It is good, trust me. It's good. The more I look back and the more different comments I read, especially now with more people who watch it, I feel good about everything. I think it's good. I think Norm showed his ass hardcore. But also, I can't make these demands because it's not my platform. But it's good. I think everything will.
Fervently resist displacement if the roles had been reversed. Now, it is this point about the reasonable and in fact inevitable nature of Palestinian resistance to Zionism that Mouin Rabbani picks up on. In doing so, he lays waste to the idea that Palestinians, in rejecting the original 1948 UN partition plan, were out of line, or even that it was inherently anti-Semitic to reject a Jewish state being established on a portion of their land at all.
I mean, one doesn't have to sympathize.
Is she gonna mistake the feelings that Jewish people might have had, that they're basically being locked into Europe and Holocausted, as saying that because now they're being denied immigration to Palestine because the Brits started to limit the amount of immigration? That's what she's bringing up. I don't know why I don't care about any of this. She didn't watch any of this. She has no idea what she's talking about. Why am I getting triggered by a teleprompter? I don't need to.
Plan were out of line, or even that it was inherently anti-Semitic to reject a Jewish state being established on a portion of their land at all.
I mean, one doesn't have to sympathize with the Palestinians to recognize that they have now been a stateless people for 75 years. Can you name any country?
Well, they were a stateless people for the entirety of their existence. Because there is no Palestinian state, nor has there ever been. But unless you want to say the Ottoman Empire was their state, but...
Yours, for example, or your 75 years. Can you name any country, yours, for example, or yours, that would be prepared to give 55%, 25%?
People like Muin are why people say anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. The reason why, and he said this kind of, but unfortunately so much of the debate was wasted on Finkelstein's honestly disrespectful cadence. And when I say that, I just mean that his speed of talking is not conducive to live conversation. He either needs to bring along an assistant, or he needs to bring along some sort of caretaker, or he needs to pre-write. We can give him questions, he needs to pre-write. Somebody speaking this slowly and with this level of imprecision to drag the conversation down is wasting everybody's time. There's no excuse for that. He's not that old. He's not, like, the fact that he doesn't know what a phone is, this is ridiculous, okay? But this guy says so many things. I don't know if people, I hate how many people, honest to God, the most upsetting thing about this whole debate was how many people came away thinking that he was super reasonable. Just so you know, Muin's position is that the state of Israel has to be completely disassembled. That whole state needs to go. It needs to be trashed. And another Arab majority state, the 527th one, needs to be erected in its place. That is his position. He says it in plain English. Not like, well, if you take what he said. He said the only way that this works is if Israel is disassembled as a state. That's it. It has to be destroyed as a state. And then another Arab majority state needs to be erected in its place. The leeway. Thanks to the 150 viewer host.
10% of your country to the Palestinians? Of course not.
Like, think about what the analogy even means here. And he says it more explicitly later on. Like, oh, you wouldn't give any of your house to a burglar. You wouldn't give any of your country. Oh, so there should have been no Israeli state at all. So ethnically cleanse them, expel them, genocide them. What should happen?
And so the issue was not the existence of Jews in Palestine. They have been there.
No one has ever made that. What a straw man. You think Benny Morris doesn't know that there were, what, was it like 10,000 indigenous Jews that had lived in the region? I know that number. Everybody knows that number. Wikipedia knows that number. Why are you even bringing this up? There wasn't an issue with Jews. First of all, there have been pogroms against Jews, or pogroms against Jews throughout Ottoman Empire history. Regardless, that's neither here nor there. But we all know that that's not the issue. Of course, it's not the Jews that were living there. We all know that. Why bring this point up? Like, it strengthens your argument. Like, somebody here is making an anti-Semitic argument on the other side of the table. Nobody said this. Illuminator, thanks for 5 gifted subs. Danny Pruitt, 20 bucks. You often engage with the more left-leaning people in these things. Brianna on the Hill, Crystalon. This might be a good idea to engage with their counterparts. Robbie, Hill, and Cigar are populist but more sane.
Centuries. And of course they had ties to Palestine, and particularly to Jerusalem and other places, going back centuries, if not millennia. But the idea of establishing...
Don't ban me, but does Muin not argue in favor of a two-state solution? I heard him say in this debate, I'm pretty sure multiple times, that all of Israel needs to be destroyed. The whole state needs to be taken apart. I'm 99% sure I heard him say that explicitly, at least once, I think twice.
An exclusively Jewish state at the expense of those who are already living there. I think it was right to Jewish state.
What does he mean by exclusively Jewish state? It wouldn't have been exclusively Jews, unless he means exclusively Jewish in character, but what an odd way to phrase that. Are you a Cornhuskers fan? Shut the fuck up.
But the idea of
not since Osborne left.
Establishing an exclusively Jewish state at the expense of those who are already living there, I think it was right to reject.
There are so many things to fight on here too. At the expense of? What do you mean at the expense of? Okay. Whoa, shit, hold on, I'm sorry. Oh, the Mossad is channeling through me right now. Oh, the Mossad is channeling through me right now. My assumption would be, and I could be totally wrong, somebody go Google this, look this up. At the expense of those living in the area. My assumption would be that the Arabs that live in Israel probably enjoy some of the highest standards of living in the entire greater Middle East region. That'd be my guess. Is there a way to look that up? Do you think that's right or do you think that's wrong? That'd be my guess. Steven5384, thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. Would you consider writing a book about Israel-Palestine? Fuck no. I don't know, bro. It would take me too much stream time away. I need to get banned from YouTube or some shit, and then I'll go do something like this. Is it considered bad to be a Zionist? The term is made to be a pejorative at this point. Do people define it definitively or something? The problem is that Zionist can mean a whole bunch of different things. That's the problem. Like, Dubai and Qatar have a better standard of living for the average citizen? Is that true? Or, I know the royalty there lives good, although like half the people apparently are royalty in Qatar and the UAE. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the lower level people or the lower class people or whatever. I don't know what the poorest live like in Saudi Arabia or in Dubai. I have no idea. What does it mean to have Jewish character? I think I've heard that term multiple times. I think it just means that like you don't get basically killed and pogrommed everywhere. And then there's some weird religious shit tied in. But I mean, like, as much as any other country, like about marriage or dumb shit like that. Did you foresee the response this debate has gotten, or did you hold out hope that people would actually address the content? No, I am happy with the response. I am very happy. I am happy. I'm super happy. I'm happy because, I've said this before, and I'm not trying to dick ride myself, okay? But I will dick ride myself a little bit. These guys have been studying this for a long time. I've studied this for 4 or 5 months, maybe, and I could have done more. I feel like I held my own. I think that if I would have made, like I said, if I would have made a single mistake in this conversation, I would be eviscerated for it. If I would have made multiple, it would be completely over. The fact that I was able to sit down a 5-hour conversation with, this guy's probably like the most quoted Western pop historian. Every shitty talking point comes from him. I'm not entirely sure what Moon's background is, but it seems like he's got a lot of background in this area. And then Benny Morris, obviously, is like the preeminent fucking Israeli historian. The fact that I was able to sit at this table for 5 or 6 hours and have a conversation and not make a single mistake, I think I'm happy with that performance. And the fact that everybody's just like personally insulting me, I just think feeds into that. So I'm okay with it.
Check that. And I don't think we can look back now, 75 years later, and say, well, you should have accepted losing 55% of your homeland because you ended up losing 78% of it, and the remaining 22% was occupied in 1967. That's not how things work.
Yeah.
And I can imagine an American rejecting giving 10% of the United States to the Palestinians.
Yeah, but that's because America, the start is not even remotely similar. It's not even remotely similar. I think the 5-hour debate format kind of hurts because no one bothered to watch it and just goes by what people say on Twitter. I think people notice. I do think people notice. I've seen a lot of like random people, even some that pick up quite a bit of traction, who have said things like, oh, like I keep hearing that this guy did really good in this debate, but all I see is him screaming insults. And then as the days kind of rolled on, for people that did completely watch it, I saw other people sort of like, well, hold on, wait, Norm, this guy was supposed to be a scholar, but why didn't he say anything scholarly? Why didn't he bring any good points? Why is he just screaming like a baby rager the whole time? So I think it's okay. Do you think it is worth watching, or do you feel like you did all right based on what you had? Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you must have caught some of the Hassan talking points. We watched this whole debate when it came out. I didn't avoid watching this, if you heard that. It's not true.
And if that rejection leads to war and you lose half your country, I doubt that 50 years from now you're going to say, well, maybe I should have accepted.
So they didn't accept the establishment of an explicitly Jewish state because the inevitable outcome was some version of exactly the apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and now out-and-out genocide that we are seeing play out.
None of that makes sense. But I'm not even mad at her. I'm just mad at whoever wrote the script for her teleprompter. What are their names on Twitter? Is it Crystal? Oh, Crystal Ball. I see her. Okay.
This was a point that Norman Finkelstein made quite eloquently, talking about the version of...
Oh, eloquently. Norm said that being an anti-Semite is part of the human condition. He's fully brain dead. That part is important for him to establish is because he's trying to excuse anti-Semitism. That's the point of that. I don't even like to talk about anti-Semitism. It's so cringe. But when you say that, the point is to excuse anti-Semitism, right? Some guy walks in, a boss walks in, and he says to his employee, "You're a dirty fucking N-word." And the guy, the black guy, you know, is like looking to HR, so what's going on? And HR's like, well, come on, everybody's a little bit racist, right? The reason why you say that, the reason why you elevate the background levels of anti-Semitism or racism or whatever is to make it seem like, everybody's a little bit racist. To say that, to utter that, everybody's got a little bit of anti-Semitism when Al-Husseini was the subject, a guy who recruited troops and shit for the SS, it's like unfathomably stupid, but...
of nationalism Zionism represents.
Most theorists of nationalism say there are two kinds of nationalism. One is a nationalism based on citizenship. You become a citizen, you're integral to the country. That's sometimes called political nationalism. And then there's another kind of nationalism, and that says the state should not belong to its citizens, it should belong to an ethnic group. Each ethnic group should have its own state. It's usually
I've never heard of this before. Maybe it's true, but like if we start getting into other like political science shit, I have completely no idea. But this sounds like specious speculation because I feel like arguably ethnic groups become the people in states. So it just seems like a strange distinction to make, but I'm not sure. I'm assuming he's referencing other people that have written and thought about this way more than I have off the top of my head. So maybe there's like a better argument to be made here, but
each ethnic group should have its own state. It's usually called the German Romantic idea of nationalism. Zionism is squarely in the German Romantic idea. That was the whole point of Zionism. We don't want to be Bundists and be one more ethnic minority in Russia. We don't want to become citizens and just become a...
This was a big idea. Nationalism was originally ethnically based. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think that I feel like there's more overlap than people realize. So for instance, actually you even see it today. People will say like, oh, Palestinians are a distinct ethnic group. Jordanians are a distinct ethnic group. Syrians are a distinct... No, they're not. These are borders drawn on a map by some asshole in Britain. There's... The fact that they now identify separately ethnically in some ways is like, I think lends a little bit of credence to the idea that if you drop borders and you put a state up, like people will start to slowly divide ethnicities along those lines as well. But I don't know, maybe not. Also, like I said, this is like, I have low conviction on this. I haven't like formally like read into any of these theories or ideas before. Maybe they account for that actually if you look at any of these forms of nationalism, it's possible. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like,
Jewish people in England.
Norm drags his feet while speaking in order to control the conversation. I actually have heard a few people say that. I don't know if that's true or not, but...
Or friends, we want our own state.
Like the Arab state?
No, wait, before we get to the Arabs, let's stick to the Jews for a moment, or the Zionists. We want our own state. And in that concept of wanting your own state, the minority at best lives on sufferance, and at worst, gets expelled. That's the logic of the German Romantic Zionist idea of a state. That's why...
Additionally, he will interrupt any conversation points that breaks his argument. It's why he constantly makes personal insults instead of attacking the argument. Yeah, true.
They're Zionists.
So the truth is, the desires of the early Zionists, especially after the Holocaust, but even before, given the number...
How is that even an argument? He's making a broad argument to a category of things discussed like in schools of thought, and you think this is a particular argument? This is why also, this is another thing that I dislike, is at some point, and it's, I guess, again, it's emblematic of the entire Israel-Palestinian debate, at some point, let's talk about the facts on the ground. Who were the people that were exclusionary? Because Jews were willing to accept, and they do to this day, a whole bunch of Arabs living in their state. It doesn't really seem like Arabs were willing to make the same acceptance. Like, is that controversial?
Of violent pogroms in Europe were completely understandable.
What do you mean just in Europe? It was only in Europe?
Cause of black nationalism, a similar nationalist ideology, given the horrors of slavery and Jim Crow and other discrimination, also so understandable. But it's also true that though their aspirations were understandable, in reality, Palestine was not a land without a people. And realization of those Zion...
Oh, a land without a people. People without a land, and land without... People love to harp on this quote. Ugh.
Understandable. In reality, Palestine was not a land without a people. And realization of those Zionist aspirations in Palestine required committing grave injustices against the people who were presently living in that land. Now, in order to accept the fairy tale version of history and to accept the current fairy tale version of Israel, President Joe Biden seems to believe wholeheartedly in where the...
You're right. For example, Austrians consider themselves to be Germans up until World War II, but now they consider themselves separate on nationalistic grounds. Oh, maybe.
Israeli government would never intentionally target civilians or engage in apartheid or have ethnic cleansing as a policy goal. In order to accept those Disney versions of reality, you got to make a bedrock underlying assumption that Western powers, in every instance, have good intentions, and Palestinians, in every instance, have bad intentions. Now, oftentimes, these assumptions are based in racist worldviews in which Westerners are inherently civilized and Arabs...
Why not just, like, look at the deals on the ground? Why not, like, look at the actual agreements that people... Oh, here, also, by the way, retweet this. Pressure, okay? I want to talk to one of them.
are inherently barbarians. Netanyahu hints at this when he describes their genocidal assault on Gaza as being a conflict between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. Now, this unshakable belief in the goodness of Western powers was evident throughout the debate. In a jaw-dropping moment, Destiny reveals himself to be fully captured by an almost religious devotion to that benevolent view of Western powers. Take a listen.
It was correctly brought up that I believe that Ben-Gurion had, I think Shlomo Ben-Ami described it as an obsession with getting validation or support from Western states. Great Britain, and then a couple decades later...
That explains the Suez War.
Yeah, exactly, correct. That was one of the major motivators, the idea to work with Britain and France on a military operation
Imperial
against Arabs.
stooge.
But then the question again...
I shouldn't let him take these. An imperial stooge. Yeah, and who and what? Were all the Arab states the stooges of the Soviet Union? Like Egypt for a long time was trying to play, Nasser was literally trying to play both ends of this as well, right? And that stooge comment that he made, by the way, that imperial stooge comment he made is really telling, because later on when he says that he didn't like Sadat, he thought Sadat was a bad leader, probably because he agreed with the guy that assassinated him, because he believed that Sadat sold out to the West when they made peace with Israel. That was a whole other line of argumentation we could have gone down, but I didn't. But I noticed these comments that he's making throughout the debate. But like, yeah, an imperial stooge? No, it's because they've got the biggest guns and the most firepower. And if you're surrounded by a bunch of Arabs that want to be the stooges of the Soviet Union, yeah, of course you want to have help from the West.
I go back to, if that is true.
Yeah, and also, what are we talking about here? These are all, do we remember it? Hold on, what was the word for it? One day, no, we won't. No, we might. It's in there, hold on, it's on the tip of my brain. The names of the, what do they call, what were the names of the provinces of the Ottoman Empire? It's not ducats. Fuck. I'm not gonna remember it. I think it was islets. Somebody said that in chat. Or wait. The administrative divisions. Were they islets? But regardless what they were called. Yeah, the Ottoman Empire, well known for its anti-imperialism. Like, why would you even say? Yeah, it's also buzzwords. Also, notice the buzzwords.
France on a military operation
Imperial
against Arabs.
stooge.
Imperial stooge, imperialism, bro, it was the Ottoman Empire. How do you think they got that big? What the fuck? Do you think they were making peaceful deals? Come on, what the fuck? And also friends with the Soviet Unions. How do you think they got their shit? An interesting argument that Begin made in a whole bunch of leaked classified documents. I read all this shit off stream. But it was when Begin was negotiating with, I think it was initially talking to Carter, and then it was somebody later on when they were trying to figure out what peace with Egypt would look like. And people were talking about like, oh, well, you know, you conquered this land in war and it's not okay and blah, blah, blah. And one of Begin's responses was like, oh, well, it seems like that just kind of is what happens, right? Isn't that how the Soviet Union, for instance, acquired Poland?